Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Tuesday, the 23rd day of April. Today is National Talk Like Shakespeare Day. How did Shakespeare
I don't think
talk?
I'll be doing that.
Okay. It's also National Picnic Day. It's National Take a Chance Day, National Cherry Cheesecake Day, and National Lost Dog Awareness Day. So if you've got a dog, be aware, and hopefully you can find that dog. It is also a Tuesday, and every Tuesday we do this thing called Tuesdays with Charlie.
Yeah, we do.
So we're going to talk to her daddy-o. We're going to be doing that here later in the program. Also have a lot of other fun stuff to get to. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on this Tuesday.
The inventor of Rip-It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip-It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip-It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip-It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.net. A new study claims that oral health is more important to your well-being than weight and exercise. So it's really important for me to brush, apparently, because I'm already, the weight part, not so good. Exercise, what's that again? But I can brush my teeth. That's easy enough. So brush and floss, and you'll be doing really well. That's from a new study, and I've got a link to it in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. Credit cards, they can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They'll help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. And this is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by Time4Rehab.com. Police found a woman walking the streets with bloody feet and a bottle of mouthwash.
Oh.
This is a couple weeks ago on a Wednesday. Arrest records say 20-year-old Francesca Farisa Swenson was drinking mouthwash to get intoxicated. She called her boyfriend to pick her up so they could go to a place and talk. And then she got angry and started kicking the front windshield of the car and damaged it. The boyfriend drove her to her parents' house, where records state that she started kicking the car window again. She was not allowed in the house, so she was walking down the road with her feet bleeding from the glass window.
Holy cow.
Officers say she still had a bottle of mouthwash in her hand, and she did admit to drinking it. They said she appeared to be intoxicated and asked officers if she could smoke a bowl of marijuana before going to jail.
Yeah, there you go. Sure, sweetie.
Sure, yeah. No, you can't. Records show that there was a pill bottle that contained some marijuana found in her pocket. She was booked into the Utah County Jail on charges of possession of a controlled substance and criminal mischief.
Yikes.
That is what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Congratulations in order for a Smarty Pants. A Jeopardy contestant by the name of James Holzhauer is now the second highest earner in the game's history. And this is as of last week, so I don't know if he's won even more this week. I don't know how this works, but his winning 8 consecutive episodes, the 34-year-old professional sports gambler earned $460,479 at that point.
Wow.
He's the only contestant to earn more. There's only one contestant who has earned more, and that was the Jeopardy legend Ken Jennings. He took home an incredible $2.5 million on 74-game winning streak. So this is his 8th consecutive win, and he's doing pretty darn good at $460,000. So if he gets that many more games, I got a feeling he would beat him. Also, Jennifer Lopez and Cardi B, they've got a new movie coming out. It's called Hustlers. It's a strip club drama. What does that mean?
Okay.
And it's coming out in September on the 13th. That is bizarre. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years, in addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends. We had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
Now, your scoop of the day brought to you by BetterCreditCards.net. A newly opened Apple store in New York City is being plagued with bed bugs. So, how do you have
why
bed
would
bugs
they have bed bugs at
in an
Apple?
Apple store? Who's laying in? Do they have beds in Apple stores? I haven't been in an Apple store in a while.
It's been a while, apparently.
The city of San Francisco is contemplating a plan to charge tourists who drive down Lombard Street. It's a really popular street, a lot of traffic, and they're going, hey, what if we charge people?
Oh,
Here's what would happen. You'd have less traffic. I'm just telling you. Because people were like, you want me to pay you $1 to drive down this crooked street? No. A Dutch doctor is accused of fathering 49 children with patients that he was treating for in vitro fertilization. So 49 kiddos. There was a movie.
I've heard of this happening before.
Yeah, there's a movie a while back called Delivery Man. It had, what's his name?
Vince Vaughn. I love him.
But he wasn't the doctor. He was just a donor.
Right.
So a little different. A French billionaire has pledged $100 million towards repairing the Cathedral of Notre Dame. We actually had this as our good news a couple days ago, and I think that is just such a cool thing. So sad that happened, but it's so cool. People were coming together, even some rivals who don't necessarily get along, working together to hopefully make that a good thing again in the future. A new report says the United States agreed to waive the death penalty so the government of Ecuador would arrest Julian Assange. So that's kind of something that, again, happened like a week ago. Why am I reading stories from a week ago? Taylor Swift.
Why would there be a death penalty?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't understand. Taylor Swift's stalker was sentenced to 4 years in prison for breaking into her New York City apartment. Is it all the same one? Because this has been in the news for a while. Is this the same guy, or does she have a lot of stalkers?
She probably has many, I would assume, but this is probably the same guy that we talked about.
You don't really make it until you have stalkers, right, Heidi? How many stalkers do you have now? Is it 10, 11, 12?
I haven't made it.
You can't keep track of all the stalkers. You've had stalkers before.
I have had stalkers.
She has. We've invited them to dinner. We didn't know the rules on stalkers. We're like, what's that? We can't do that? That's
a bad idea?
We thought it was mighty fine of them to... Okay. Thank you for letting us know. Carly Simon announced that she's writing a tell-all memoir about Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. So I'm, looking forward to not reading that. Not that I don't know. Why would that matter? What is the tell-all? What are you going to tell?
I don't know.
She's got that song, You're So Vain, and she, won't tell anybody who it is, but then, you pay her and she'll tell you.
Yeah,
I think everybody knows who it is.
I don't care.
Billy Joel was seen cleaning the beaches of his hometown, Oyster Bay, Long Island, just one day after his sold-out show at Madison Square Garden. On Facebook, somebody said, was this community service? I don't think so. I think he's just a dude that likes to help out. I think. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it was community service. But that is kind of cool and very humbling.
Maybe he wants his beaches clean.
But it's kind of humbling, Sell out Madison Square Garden last night, and then today, picking up garbage on the beach. I think that is really actually kind of cool.
Absolutely it is.
And then one last story here. The Los Angeles restaurant and Frank Sinatra haunt Dear John's is reopening for 2 years while the site gets redeveloped. So this is a place that Frank Sinatra liked to hang out. It was a little restaurant and bar called Dear John's.
Okay.
Never been there before.
I haven't either.
But I've actually heard of it before. I think it's really kind of a neat idea. And it's cool that they're going to reopen that. I think it would have been kind of cool to hang out with Frank Sinatra.
I think he seemed like a neat guy.
And, very talented dude.
All of the guys. The Rat Pack.
The Rat Pack?
Yeah.
I could see Heidi hanging with the Rat Pack.
I could hang with the Rat Pack.
I could see the Rat Pack being afraid of Heidi.
No, they wouldn't be.
It's like, hey, Heidi's coming. Okay, everybody, let's go quick. Sneak out the back door before she gets here. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Do you have a credit card? Is it the very best credit card? Many people get their credit card as a response to an offer that was mailed to you. These are typically not the best cards. Check the fine print for the fees and interest. We have a website that compares many different cards being offered so you can find the one that's the best fit for you. If you'd like to find a better credit card, we'd love to help at bettercreditcards.net. There's no obligation. Just click and compare to see if we can get you a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net.
And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little thing we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
It's Tuesdays with Charlie on the John and Heidi Show.
How you doing, Charlie?
We
may never listen to me all the time, but I got some good stuff.
No,
Good.
I listen diligently.
Yeah, well, something, yeah.
I
don't know
do.
if that's the word.
So what are we going to learn today?
Bees will get drunk when alcohol is available. Bouncers at the hive will refuse to let them in until they sober up.
Oh,
No
so
kidding.
there are bees at the hive
That
keep the drunk bees out?
yeah.
Yep.
That is amazing.
I bet there's bees in Charlie's neighborhood that haven't been back to the hive in months.
Homeless
Hey,
bees.
They just swarm around there. They don't know what they're doing here.
All the bees hanging out in Charlie's neighborhood. Who needs the hive? I got Charlie's cans.
Then did you know that all warranty void stickers, if removed, are illegal in the U.S. since 1975?
So it's illegal to put warranty void if removed?
You can't remove them, yeah.
Oh, so it's illegal to remove the stickers?
Yes,
Okay. Huh.
whatever that means. I'll have to talk to my staff on that one.
You need
Clear.
to get on them.
Clear as mud.
Go to your local grocery store
Okay.
and look at the cereal aisle.
All right.
Okay, look at the eyes on the mascots.
Yeah.
They're looking down at the child, their target market, the ones they want to identify with.
Oh.
No kidding. So that's why they're looking down.
So a little psychological there
I'll
or
have
something.
to. I'll have to pay attention to that.
I thought
next
they were
time
just.
I go in.
I thought they were all just ashamed that they were selling sugar in a box.
I've
Oh,
never
come on. I
noticed
love
it before.
I love sugary cereal.
Do you?
Oh, that's good stuff.
You're something else, too. I don't know what. Trader Joe's. You ever heard of him?
Yeah, it's
I've
a
heard of
story.
it,
Yep.
Yeah.
My staff wrote this down. The Trader Joe's are literally, that's a big word, for cereals the company buys them as seconds. Cereals that didn't make the grade, and Trader Joe's buys them and sells them.
Really?
So don't eat Trader Joe's cereal.
Good to know.
It's hard telling where he gets them.
Wonder
He's-
what they call them.
I don't know.
Are they Traderos?
don't know.
How do you have seconds on Cheerios?
I don't know.
Little
Those
round things.
they're the ones that don't quite make a
Maybe
complete
they're
circle.
not really round. They're broken.
And then we're going into this. Neil Armstrong, he was on the moon, right?
Yeah.
Was he the first guy to walk on the moon?
Yes, he was.
He left 4 bags of poop on the moon.
Did he really?
Why would you do that?
I didn't think they could go to the bathroom in their space suits.
Well, they have to go in a bag apparently, and then they drop it on the moon.
Maybe he threw it out the window as it was taking off or something.
I don't think those windows roll down.
I don't think they probably do either.
Sitting there with his arm out the window and said, watch this, I'm going to throw this out the window.
It was just him that left that, or was it everybody on board?
No, just him.
I'll bet they were all involved. He might have
I'll
been the
bet
one to
they were.
take
Maybe
out
he's
the
got
trash.
a wicked sense of humor. You know, I mean,
He probably,
had to leave
he probably
his mark.
took the blame for it.
It's like our dogs when we take them for a walk. They're always leaving their
Yeah,
mark.
every tree.
Did you know that sex is the safest tranquilizer in the world?
It is?
It is up to 10 times more effective than Valium.
Wow. That's good to know.
You know why we got to take Valium, don't you?
Why is that?
Because we never get enough sex.
Well, that's probably why.
And then I got one last thing here for you.
Oh, okay. What is that?
On average, and then once again, me and you aren't average.
No.
On average, a man has up to 10 erections during his sleep.
No kidding.
Really? I don't know how you guys walk around with those things.
I'm not sure how they would know that if I'm sleeping. How does somebody sit? Doesn't.
Some keeps poking your wife and they tell you to knock it off.
Roll over.
Nah.
And then they count. And they count and say, did you know that you was up 10 times last night?
Well, that could be how that happened. Charlie, are you ready for a question from us?
Okay.
What year did the first woman candidate run for the U.S. presidency? If I said who it was, that'd be tough, but what year do you think it was that there was a woman running for president of the United States for the very first time?
For the very first time. What year?
Yeah, what year?
You're asking a guy that don't even pay attention to that kind of stuff, but I'm going to say 1948.
No, it was way before that. 1872.
Really? I would have never guessed that.
Victoria Woodhull became the first woman candidate for the U.S. presidency in April of 1872. So there, she didn't win.
She lost, didn't she?
Yeah, she lost, but she
How'd
at
that
least
work
she
out
ran.
for her?
Yeah, I would have never known that. I had no idea. That is fascinating.
Well, Charlie, it's always a pleasure to chat. Thank you for taking the time to visit with us.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
The inventor of Rip It gloves has been a drywall guy for decades. He was trying to find gloves that worked for him and his crew, but nothing was quite right. So he went out and created some. Rip It gloves fit firm in your hand and protect your hands, but still allow you to use a touchscreen. Professional athletes love the extra grip Rip It gloves gives them. Painters, roofers, contractors, but also motorcycle and horseback riders. See why everyone loves Rip It gloves at ripitgloves.com. Use promo code radio to save 25%. That's RIPIT gloves.com, promo code radio.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The tallest man in the world was named Robert Wadlow. How tall do you suppose Robert was?
9 feet?
No, 8'11". So real close. You were an inch off, Heidi. 8 foot, 11 inches tall. Tallest
I
man in the
remember
world.
seeing his picture in the Book of World Records that we had when I was a kid.
There you go. Tallest man in the world. Thanks for listening to this fun fact on the John and Heidi Show. Credit cards. They can be trouble. About 12 years ago, we did a debt snowball program and got rid of our credit cards. We were debt-free except for our house. It was awesome. But over the course of the next decade, our credit score went down. That sounds weird, but they need open accounts to give you a score. Our lower score made our insurance rates go up. We decided to get a credit card to help with that. We just pay it off every month. If you want a better credit card, check out bettercreditcards.net. They help you compare all the different cards to get the best one for you. That's bettercreditcards.net. Now, fear this. Time for fun with phobias. Xylophobia. Xylophobia. Xylophobia.
Fear of the xylophone?
That'd be a good guess, but it's wrong. It's fear of wooden objects. What? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I don't know.
So apparently that's why xylophones are called that. Maybe they're wooden objects? I don't know. Are they wooden? Wouldn't you know?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Xylophobia. Today's fun with phobias.
Join us for a fun week in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for the 3rd annual 80s in the Sand. We've been there the last 2 years. In addition to making a bunch of awesome new friends, we had so much fun meeting 80s actors and musicians. 80s in the Sand takes over the entire resort, so you'll mingle with them at the pools and the restaurants too. We'd love to have you join us. See the amazing lineup featuring Sammy Hagar and many more at radiotravelgroup.com. Save $200 per person for first-time guests at radiotravelgroup.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. And I got a warning here. This is kind of disgusting. But armed with a water gun filled with his own urine, an elderly Florida man was squirting a woman when she was walking her dog in his front yard. This was last Saturday. Police charged 71-year-old. 71-year-old?
Ew.
He's 71. You'd think he'd know better. Joel Benjamin approached a female victim at about 9:30 in the evening. He pulled out a water gun that contained the urine and squirted it toward the 50-year-old as she was walking her dog outside his residence. When questioned, he reportedly admitted that he, quote, shot the victim with a water gun containing his own urine.
Ew, that's so nasty.
He said he was not remorseful and he probably would do it again. Court filings don't indicate why he targeted this woman, but he may have been angered by fellow residents failing to curb their dogs, doing their thing. He was arrested on misdemeanor battery charge and booked into the jail. So, for those of you thinking, hey, that's a good idea, I'm going to do that, don't do that. It's a bad idea. It's today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now, your moment of duh, brought to you by FunkyMonkeyShirts.com. An American airline passenger jumped from the plane before it got all connected to the, what do you call that thing? The sky?
Oh, yeah, the
Whatever it
little
is.
gate that
He
gets
jumped
you
from
off.
a grounded plane after landing at the Phoenix Sky Harbor.
Yikes.
The crew of American Airlines Flight 1346 came from Minneapolis, called ahead for law enforcement to meet the aircraft. A passenger was on the flight, and he was being very disruptive. Once the flight arrived at the gate, the passenger opened one of the doors.
He didn't want to meet the law enforcement officers.
And he jumped off the aircraft. Law enforcement and paramedics responded. Said during the flight, the 25-year-old passenger began touching other passengers' faces and spraying them with liquid from some bottle that he had.
Yikes.
So witnesses,
What a freak.
say that he was swearing and hitting multiple passengers. After landing and taxiing to the gate, they saw him jump from the plane. He opened a service door, the opposite side, and jumped out. Not a good plan. That is definitely today's moment of duh.
Do you have a credit card? Is it the very best credit card? Many people get their credit card as a response to an offer that was mailed to you. These are typically not the best cards. Check the fine print for the fees and interest. We have a website that compares many different cards being offered so you can find the one that's the best fit for you. If you'd like to find a better credit card, we'd love to help at bettercreditcards.net. There's no obligation. Just click and compare to see if we can get you a better credit card at bettercreditcards.net.
Now, these three things, Heidi, tell me, what do these three things have in common? A toilet, a cook, and a college and college football. Yeah, college football.
A bowl.
Yeah, bowls. See, I can't speak, but you can. Toilet bowl, cooking bowl,
Yeah.
and a college football
There we go.
bowl.
See, I was on the ball with that
you
one.
are. You were on the bowl, if you will, Heidi. You were, you were good. That is these three things. Thanks for listening on this Tuesday.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news, and it comes your way courtesy of radiotravelgroup.com. We've got a trip coming up in May. It's going to be here before you know it. All the details at radiotravelgroup.com. Here's the headline. Man shares Chick-fil-A employee's quiet act of kindness. I think this is just pretty darn cool. A man was standing in line for breakfast at a Chick-fil-A in Jackson, Mississippi, and he witnessed a small act of kindness that truly inspired him. So he snapped a quick photo, and then he shared this story on Facebook. So he says, I think Mondays are rough for a lot of us, but allow me to share an inspiring story. Today I was picking up lunch for a doctor's office. As I'm standing there waiting for my order and checking emails, I hear a gentleman ask a lady, I'd like to purchase something to eat, but all I have is $5. So nosy me kind of looks up from my phone and notices a gentleman wearing a backpack, holding a $5 bill, looked to be homeless. Maybe he was dealing with hard times. Either way, he was asking, what can I get that wouldn't be more than $5? She began to offer some suggestions to help him. And then she says, you know what? Order what you want and don't worry about it because I am going to pay for your breakfast. So she didn't charge him anything.
Oh, that was
So he
sweet.
snapped a picture of this lady that did this. He said, I got this picture for a couple reasons. It would have been easy to turn around and ask the manager to step in or to help, but she didn't. She just said, hey, it's on me. And she personally paid for it.
Oh.
She could have said, I'll just give you some water. And she could have taken the money and went on to the next customer. But again, she didn't. He said, I've been in customer service for a long time. I've been through some of the best trainings, such as Dale Carnegie. Yet a young girl by the name of Katrina at a Chick-fil-A in Jackson, Mississippi, in a little 3-minute conversation with a customer, has managed to teach me the value of humility and taking care of your customers. And it's not just the nuggets that make this place successful. It's people. People like Karina.
That's beautiful.
I think so, too.
I love that story.
That is so cool. I've got a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.